Good morning, this is Beck from John Pye Real Estate, and today on our Facebook Live video we are going to be chatting about accidental damage versus fair wear and tear, and some questions when it comes to cleaning and scuff marks at rental properties. So if this is your first time watching one of our Facebook Live videos, just to let you know, we have got a series of different videos that you can watch in preparation for learning about accidental damage versus fair wear and tear in our video library, and you can go back and have a look at that. But if you are watching today live and you have questions, you're very welcome to write your question in the comment section, and we would love to answer those for you. Now, if you're watching this later on after the event has finished, you are very welcome as well to write your questions in the comments area, and we will endeavour to get to those and answer those for you. So we have got a blog post actually on our website, which is www.johnpye.com.au/blog. That covers accidental damage and versus fair wear and tear, and we have a lot of people who ask us questions about what would be considered accidental damage or wear and tear. So I've actually selected some really interesting comments and questions from people who have actually submitted those to us, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of those questions today and also give you our response from our company's perspective. So these are questions and comments from people all over the world, and also here in our backyard, but these are not necessarily our own tenants. So these are people who rent from other companies and other agencies, but are seeking help and are just wanting perhaps a second opinion or some guidance as to what would be covered under that fair wear and tear subject line. So again, it's in relation to cleaning and scuff marks specifically here on this video. So let me just go through some of those questions with you now. So the first question is from a tenant, from a landlord or an investor, and it says, "Hi, I have a tenant that has just left an apartment a few days ago. The carpet is stained and there are a few patches in the carpet where the fluff has been ripped out. The curtains are all stained, the walls are dirty, and there are a lot of chips and peeled paint, mold in the bathrooms, and the cupboards are dirty inside. Also, the tenant seems to have tried to paint some patches in the ceilings and around the doors, which is very sloppy. To me, as a landlord, this is ridiculous, but my agent keeps telling me, no, it's just wear and tear, and if you ask for anything more than a clean, you will not get it, and the tenant has been there for 3 years, so it is acceptable. What do you think, and what should I do about my useless agent?" So just to say here, this is not one of our clients, as I mentioned before. This is someone just seeking a second opinion. So our response is, "Hi, thanks for your comment. What was the condition of the property when the tenant first moved in? The fluff on the carpet could be considered as wear and tear, but generally stains on carpets are considered accidental damage. In our opinion," and by the way, we haven't seen any photos of this property, we haven't seen the condition report, but in our opinion, chip walls are accidental damage, but peeling paint could be either depending on which caused the paint to peel. Mold in the insides of the cupboards needs to be cleaned by the tenant. We recommend that you discuss these items with your agent. We hope this helps." Another question from someone else. "I have a few questions. I'm managing my own property and the 6-month lease came to an end, which I did not renew. At the final inspection, all things I noted that were not in the same or nearly the same condition my tenant does not agree with and claims it is all wear and tear. Prior to her moving in, I had the place fully cleaned, but when she left, there were marks on the walls. Some looked like a beverage had spilt. The blinds were not dusted that well. Wardrobe drawers had come off their runners, and following a small fire in the kitchen had failed to wipe off some smoke marks, and the ash on the blinds, and generally no dusting. She refuses to pay to fix or clean any of this. What part of this is wear and tear or negligence?" So just a reminder, so this lady is actually managing her property on her own, and that's something that we would actually recommend that you don't consider doing. It's much better to have a professional to look after your investment property as an example of what this lady is going through right now. So our response: hi, thanks for your comment. In our opinion, the only item you have listed that would be considered wear and tear would be the wardrobe drawers off the runners. What caused the fire? Was it the tenant's fault? That could determine whose responsibility the cleaning is for the items related to the fire. And if the property was professionally cleaned prior to the tenant moving in and it was marked as clean on the condition report, the tenant is responsible for returning the property in the same condition. Do you have photos of the property to use as evidence? Hope this helps. And that was our response. So that's certainly something that you must keep in mind. Photos are used as evidence at a tribunal hearing. So that's really important, that whether you are managing a property yourself or your agency who's looking after your rental property, they must have evidence as to what the condition of the property was prior to that tenant moving in. Okay, next question. Hello, we are having some issues with our previous property managers. And this is from a tenant's perspective. I have two questions. They are insisting that the property isn't clean to their standards and want to charge $400 for cleaners to redo the entire house. We feel that the house is at minimum reasonably clean, as stated in our lease agreement with regard to the condition report. Who gets to determine what reasonably clean is? And second part of the question is, they are claiming that a discoloured toilet seat on which the plastic is peeling is damaged and we are required to replace it. I believe the discoloration and the peeling is a result of general cleaning and wear and tear. Your advice on these matters would be appreciated. So, and our response is, thanks for your comment. Number one, the term reasonably clean can be a grey area. And if it ends up at a tribunal, ultimately the tribunal member is the one to make the final decision. However, if we go back to basics, the law requires a tenant to leave a property in the same condition minus fair wear and tear. We recommend you refer to the condition report and any photos as evidence to support your case. Second part of our response. This is copied directly from New South Wales Fair Trading website. You are not responsible for fair wear and tear to the premises. Fair wear and tear means that the deterioration that occurs over time with the use of the premises, even though the premises receive reasonable care and maintenance. Such deterioration could be caused by exposure, time, or just by ordinary use. You are only liable for negligent, irresponsible, or intentional actions that cause damage to the premises. So continuing on with our response. So without seeing the nature of the discoloration of the toilet seat, it is very difficult to tell you if it is wear or tear or not. Would it be worth buying a new toilet seat from Bunnings to solve the matter? You could get them quite cheap these days. Talk to your agent. So there are a couple of questions that we've answered in relation to cleaning and whether or not some of those things are accidental damage or fair wear and tear. Now, scuff marks. Scuff marks are something that many people have in rental properties, and we've received quite a few questions about that, but I'm just going to cover a couple of them before we end today's Facebook live video. So scuff marks, and this comes from someone who is a landlord. So, hi, we have rented out a brand new duplex for the past 18 months. On vacating, the property had some scuff marks on the beige lounge and dining room wall, which is no problem. But as the tenant preferred to clean the property themselves, they used Jif on the scuff marks and have left some marks on the walls, which are highly visible when entering that area of the property. In daylight hours, can we as owners request a proper clean? Or a proper cleaner or professional cleaner to come in and try to clean off these marks, or demand the tenant pay for a repaint of the whole wall? So our response is, thanks for your comment. Have you tried to clean the wall again with sugar soap? Do you know what initially caused the scuff marks? If it is a case of wear and tear, then in our opinion, you won't be able to demand the tenant pay for the repaint of the wall. But additionally to that, it is really important for the tenant to have another opportunity to go back and perhaps try cleaning it with sugar soap this time round. Next question. Hi, we are soon to vacate our rental property after 4 years, and what our living And what our living is, what we're living in is what she's actually meaning, is a very old apartment. So what I'm concerned is, are the scuff marks on bathtub and the chips off near the corner belongs to normal wear and tear? Before we moved in, I realised there were some scratches and marks on top, but as time went by, the marks have become bigger. Any reply would be highly appreciated. Once again, thank you so much. So our response is, if the marks were there when you moved in and they've just gotten worse through the general use, then it would be considered fair wear and tear. So there we go. We have some answered questions that we've received recently in the last few months from people who are either renting their properties out as an investment property, or our tenants themselves who've got questions. So if you've got any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. So I have a question here from Darren. Thanks, Darren. Oh no, it's a comment. Should take photos and hold on to the original tenancy agreement. Definitely. This is a vital thing for both the landlord and also for tenants. So in our agency, there are properties that we've taken up and over 1,000 photos of when we are doing our ingoing inspection report, and this is to avoid any questions of whether or not some damage is in the accidental damage basket or if it is actually fair wear and tear. So documentation is vital, especially if there's going to be an issue at the tribunal. Whether or not you're a landlord yourself or you are a tenant, this is something that they will require as evidence. So photos and an ingoing tenancy report, ingoing inspection report, or a periodical report is also evidence. So if there are no other questions, we're actually going to end there. But I did just want to say thank you so much for watching today. And if you have any questions, you are welcome to put it in the comments section below, or you can send me an email, which my email is bec@johnpye.com.au. Or if you've got a rental property that you need managing, or we also do sales in our office as well. And we've sold many properties for investors and landlords over the years, and we are experts at handling sales when you do have a tenant in the premises. So we have a very unique way of looking after those tenants and also taking care of the landlord in the sale process. So we'd love to serve you. You're very welcome to get in touch with us, and thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.